You're listening to the Walt Weekly Podcast with our host, Walter Latham, and our co-host, Michelle Sweeney McCombs. Voices in society impacting the culture.
Welcome to another episode of the Walt Weekly Podcast Live. My name is Walter Latham. I am your host, and I'm joined by Michelle Sweeney McCombs, and she is your co-host, and she will be the moderator for today's show. Before we commence, we want to extend our sincere thanks for your ongoing support. We really thank y'all guys. And for those who are just joining us for the first time, what do we say? Please follow, like, and share.
And
there you go, our podcast. Also, Michelle will be moderating, as I said, the chat box. You may get a response in the chat box to any questions that you pose or any comments, and they are welcome. And we will try to answer them verbally also. So, 2020 has been a disaster movie. I don't even think the writers in entertainment in Hollywood could have come up with these type of scenarios and the stuff that we're facing. The pandemic, yesterday, 213,000 new cases, 2,681 deaths were reported. That's yesterday. They didn't report today's yet. All right. Mm-hmm. So on top of that, we got all these other things that we have to deal with running parallel. We got Trump. All right, he's going. Who knows what he's going to do? All right, especially with the assassination of this nuclear scientist in Iran. And I know Israel was behind that. All right, but what is Trump going to do? Mm-hmm. All right, then you got the rigged elections that they keep talking about. Right. And that's why they're telling people in Georgia not to vote, because I understand. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. They got about 900,000 absentee ballots that were requested in Georgia. All right, we got the layoffs, we got food lines, we got just out helplessness. And then I have to say, Bill Barr does have a little bit of manhood in him. All right, when he told Trump that he didn't find anything. All right, but we got all these things going on. But let's talk first. As I said, everything is critical. But let's go first to the Georgia runoffs. And I wish Steve was on, because he's a Georgia boy. He's one of our panelists. Right. But he's not. But
that's okay.
But we want to I'm going to turn it over to Michelle, let her introduce the panel as usual. And Michelle, let me turn it over to you.
Yes, thank you, Walter. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Today's Friday Live is sponsored by Women Black-Owned Businesses. First up, we have Beauty Blends by Ami, and all-natural organic products available now for holiday gift sets featuring new body butter flavors, red velvet, cheesecake, Christmas spice, mint chocolate chip, and candy yams. Beauty Blends also carries a men's collection of beard oils and more. You can save 15% on any order over $25 using the discount code The Walt Weekly at checkout. I will post all of her hashtags and websites where you can purchase her product. Our next sponsor for today is Soap and Love, a handmade, all-natural vegan soap company. Now available for limited edition pumpkin pie soap. Save 10% with the discount code at checkout, The Walt Weekly. You can order these products online at IG Soap and Love Company and Facebook Soap and Love Company. Get into the holidays and support Black-owned businesses. Yes, Walter, please give these sponsors a hand for sponsoring our Friday Live, The Walt Weekly. Where's my prop, Walter? You're late. Come on, brother. This is live, you guys.
I was trying to do
some
it.
Clapping in that chat. Put some emojis in that chat room.
There you go.
Thank you to our sponsors. Anyone that would like to sponsor the Walt Weekly, please go to our website, www.thewaltweekly.com. There's a page for sponsorship. We would love to sponsor Black-owned businesses. Today's panel, we have Christopher Sweeney out of New Jersey. He's a retired New York City sanitation worker and CEO of Johnny Roots Catering Services. He's also the the host of Loud Chatter, but he's also our weekly panel. We appreciate him being on here. Our next panel guest is Ernest J. Robinson out of Washington, D.C. He's a sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps, combat veteran, senior consultant at B. Ernest Leadership and Professional Consultant. I will put everyone's social media pages and websites in the chat box. We may have another panel guest coming, but right now, this is it for now. Thank you and enjoy the show.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, I mean, we really wanted to talk some good news, but right now I look at our show as just a place, a forum, a platform that we can come to discuss these issues that we are facing, which are, I don't think, like I said, we could have dreamed them up or we could have written them. You know, we're facing an enemy in COVID, which we're going to start with, that we can't see. Okay, at least, you know, in The Walking Dead and things like that, you can see him coming. You know what I mean? So you can just tap him in the head. But with COVID, you can't see him. All right. So first thing, let's talk about how COVID is spiking across the country, and from a regional perspective, you know, what are we doing? And when I say that, what are we doing? I mean, what is the community doing? Or are we just following cues? I know we have to follow cues from the CDC, but are our youth, our young people, looking out for the old by wearing their mask, you know, and taking the recommendations of the CDC? I'm going to direct that to Chris. Let's talk about New York first.
Hey, I want to give you a live update with the cases today. It was over 171,000 and 2,092 deaths today. So unfortunately, those are big numbers.
Yeah,
and it's getting pretty scary. We see a light at the end of the tunnel with the vaccine coming, but we got to make it to that, right? It's
yeah, you're looking at another. My wife and I were discussing that last night. We're looking at another 12 to 18 months before, you know, some people get this thing under control. So, yeah, Chris, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? Are you seeing people looking out for the older folks?
Let me start with so I was on the phone with some of my old coworkers from my city job. And it's spiking pretty bad with them. They're starting to do go back to some of the measures that they had with closing borders and not letting workers go to different areas and kind of lock them into where they are, because it's, you know, over the past week and a half, they've had about 50 to 60 positives coming in. So it's getting crazy. But what I'm seeing, I still feel like people are lax with it, man. I see so many people out there not wearing masks, still trying to justify not wearing a mask. It's just, I don't understand it, man. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it is.
You know, the young folks are just really, and it's, you know, I'm seeing a lot of young people, to be honest with
Reckless.
you. You know,
Reckless.
I see the older people are masked up, and they're in the stores. The stores are, you know, starting to take the temperatures more now. They got people at the front in some of these stores taking people's temperatures. But, you know, it's getting crazy. I actually watched the news the other day, and they had a woman in Costco who they had to arrest because she didn't want to wear a mask.
Right.
It's just insane.
Yeah. They just had on the news tonight. They had a home. It was a rented home, you know, the Airbnb in the Hamptons, and the police had to go there and shut it down. The house was packed, hundreds of people in there partying, no mask, no social distancing, nothing. It's just like total recklessness.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing that apparently all over. California. I mean, I think one person, I think they were a celebrity. They're looking to pay somebody to let them know who tipped off the police.
Right.
But
in California, looks like they're going for a complete shutdown. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely. Ernest, what's going on in Virginia? in the
Well, I
district?
mean, so one in the district. So most of federal agencies, well, as I know, my agency, we're at 100% telework,
Mm-hmm.
maximum. Like you're only going in like if you have to. Um, it is. Actually, even just looking at the city, it's still boarded up, even from some of the more recent protests and disturbances. So it still looks very very eerie. But as far as the attitudes go, one, I never like when we put demographics on the behaviors, because I think the behavior of wearing or not wearing a mask is just that. And I don't think it has a culprit, so to speak. And what I mean by that is I've seen uh, people who are of a mature age in your 40s, 50s, who feel privileged and don't wear a mask, right? And I think that that's the behavior that we need to stop. But as far as a response, I think Virginia itself is very steady. The district is rising a little bit, and
Okay.
I think that people are becoming more responsive to the incoming vaccination. But I think people have become kind of tired, exhausted by the restrictions and everything else.
Okay. Now, if COVID
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
keeps spiking across the country, especially in the Midwest,
yeah.
and the spike in here kicked up again around 5, 6, almost 6% from 2% just around 2 weeks ago. It's up to around
Right.
6%. All right. What do you think when Biden gets in? I know he's asking that people wear a mask like 100 days voluntarily, 100 days, and that should
Mm.
reduce the death rate from COVID and reduce the overall rate of infection. Okay. So what I was thinking was instead of doing that, and I mean, it may come to that, and then we have Gene here. Let me just bring Gene in. Instead of doing that, why don't we just make it mandatory? I think that this is something that should be mandatory. You go out of the house, wear a daggone mask. I
Right.
think, yeah, I mean, but now the reason, Ernest, I want you to answer a question. Can that mandate come from the federal level, or would that be, the
Local.
federal issues that then it drops down to a state by state thing, or could
It
that
would
I
just
would
it,
think
it
be
would
local.
have
mandated
Mm-hmm.
federally?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, I think Michelle's right. Yeah, it would have to be on almost down to the locality, because how could you possibly regulate that? There's no law or legislation to. I mean, if you make something mandatory, what's the penalty? And then how
Right.
is the penalty going to be equally applied across the board?
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things that it's just a humane thing that needs to be done, and everyone needs to buy in. I think that making it voluntary as the idea hopefully will allow for those who usually are oppositional, may be more inclined to be on board, because some people just want to defy something because it's defiable, right? But if everyone
Those
is
those
is a
Karens.
volunteer thing, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so yeah, now I don't see how it can be regulated from a federal standpoint. It would have to be local.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
I think
I think if the numbers were higher, like if you get,
I mean,
if
they're on
people
the
are just
way. I
dropping,
mean,
they would have to. It
I
would have to
think
be
he's
federal, but I don't know if that would happen.
I think
Pretty much
he's using
local.
some diplomacy here, and I think it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
smart the way he's going about it. He is making it mandatory for federal buildings. He did say that
Right.
yeah,
if you
Yeah,
go
yeah,
into a federal
yeah.
building, that you would have to have a mask on, and if you're on trains or things of that nature. But I think he has to be kind of diplomatic with this because of the divide in the country, right? And because what's going on, and with you having the president still kind of pulling people apart with this fake thing about the election was rigged. So he has to kind of softly
toe the
implement it. You know
line.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
he's making the statement from the biggest pulpit, like the biggest, the biggest seat in the House, and he's going to let the states follow through. But he's just trying to get the message out from the president saying, hey, we should do this. And that's kind of showing some leadership, something that we haven't had. I think maybe Trump did it once.
But Trump's
March.
having Christmas parties. He said he's still setting his example. He's having Christmas
playing
parties,
golf,
and nobody's wearing masks at his Christmas parties.
Yeah,
right.
Nobody's checking him.
That's
Yeah,
right.
And
nobody's checking.
Well, as a matter of fact, and I think that's one thing too that hasn't been widely discussed, either on the news or otherwise, is that all of those rallies can be the contribution to why we're having such a rise. He crisscrossed this country he blitzed it for like 2 weeks straight, going to Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Florida, 2-3 cities in the same state
in one day
with thousands, right? In thousands of people. So that may be what is attributing to it, but again, we don't want to politicize it, but that's the result.
Well, he was a super spreader.
Yeah. I mean, anybody around him, even the Secret Service, everybody's getting it. Ben Carson even got it, and he said he was very, very sick. So he's keeping a very low profile. I mean, really low. And, I don't know whether he did a job anyway, but just
he was on the cusp. Yeah, he was very sick.
Yeah. So, and then another thing, I don't know what's going on in Staten Island, man. They need to lock down Staten Island. You know what I mean? Just close.
Well, it's in the Trump areas.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Close the bridges,
all of them Trumpsters that are disobeying the laws and walking in the stores, no mask on. That area. It's not over here, but not that I can tell.
In southern Staten Island, right? That's
Tottenville, Mafia Town.
right
by the mall, out by the mall. Where it's
that's where the sanitation was having the spikes.
Yes,
it was in Staten Island.
That's right.
Yep.
Great Kills, Tottenville, out by the mall. Yeah, it's all over there because they refuse. They just had a big rally the other day. I believe it was Wednesday night for a bar that they closed, and they were protesting for it to be open. Did you see that? They were out in the street, hundreds of people in the street. Some people had on masks, some people didn't have on masks. It was, it was a civil protest, but you're protesting because this man had overcapacity and people weren't social distancing. That's why he was shut down. They didn't just shut him down just because it happened once. It was multiple times. That's why he was shut down. So
and then the owner get locked up.
Family. Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, I got to feed my family." Yeah, you got to feed your family, but you're killing people at the same time, you idiot. So they basically, these mom and pop stores are, protesting to be open. But if you're not obeying the laws, what is the purpose of doing that? You're just spreading the disease even more.
It'd be different if they just stayed amongst themselves and they wanted to harm themselves. But the problem is they're all over the damn place.
They're all over the place. That's it. They're spreading.
All over the place.
They're spreading it. Exactly. Stay in the house or go somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they're privileged. I don't need to wear my mask. I mean, I was just talking to Walter about it yesterday that there was times I jumped out of my car. I get to the door. I was like, oh, crap, I forgot my mask. I'll run back in and get it. But there was an incident when a woman was in it. Well, I'm already in the store. I might as well get the hell out of here. What are you talking about? I'm here already. No, get out. There's a sign on the door to wear your mask. And they just refuse to follow the rules. And it's always them that will survive, and they'll pass it to the next person that dies from it. It's crazy.
When I asked that question initially, though, about constitutionally what Joe Biden can do in terms of mask wearing and enforcement of that, was I was thinking about how the Chinese did it. You remember back in early winter, January, you saw them dragging people out and stuff like that, and look at the Chinese now. You know what I mean? They may have one or two.
They're not even right. They don't even need a vaccine. They're
No,
not even looking
Right.
for a vaccine.
Mhm.
yeah, they created a
Yeah.
vaccine. They have one. They created one. You know,
Right.
I don't know how good it is, but you know, they don't need a vaccine. You know,
Right.
but
What-
I was thinking like if
We
if
don't
it
know.
continues, if things continue down the path that they are now, I can see
Mhm.
that happening in certain localities.
Right.
Listen,
Right.
I think this president should be brought up for crimes against humanity. He has done more damage than anything with this virus. He has not helped in the least. He is everything he does is damaging, you know.
Right.
And having those rallies was reckless behavior, and he should be held
Yeah.
accountable
I mean,
for it.
so the thing is that I mean, and Chris, I mean, you're 100% right. And the thing is that that's the reason why, like I had alluded to earlier, saying that those who are in leadership positions in Congress failed and allowed for this to happen. Any behavior like this in the government, you could not exemplify that. It's considered to be unbecoming, right?
Right.
So that means you're not even worthy of the position in which you hold.
Mhm.
No employee, anybody in here who ever had anybody who worked for them, or you worked for somebody, we could not behave in this particular manner
Right.
at
Right.
all.
Some of the but
And
Ernest,
yeah,
some of them agree.
yeah,
Some of them agree with him.
Well,
Some of
that's the
them were
thing.
out there, right? They were out there
right,
with him in some of the
Yep.
states he was
yeah,
going to. Well, look
Yeah.
at the guy that was crowd surfing. They were passing him around in the crowd, the black guy, and he wound up getting
Right.
COVID. They were just
Right.
out there.
Not a bunch of
They were
idiots. Yeah.
co-signing this foolishness with
Wow.
this guy.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Oh, I didn't see
It's
that. I got to
incredible.
check that.
Yeah, I didn't see that either. Look, I just
Yeah, he
saw
was
the news.
He
Yeah.
was crowd
It's
surfing. They were
crazy.
passing him around, and the people had no mask on. He had
None.
a mask on, but like, what are you doing, you fool? You out there and state to state, everywhere he went, there were people
Mhm.
in the Republican Party that were accepting that behavior, and they were co-signing it.
Right.
So how
Right.
do
They are.
you get them? How do you get them to check him if they agree with what he's doing?
Right.
well,
Mm.
now
Hey,
what was that, Ernest?
Who the guy?
yeah, yes. So he's a state representative, Vernon Jones.
Yes.
And he actually spoke at the RNC also. And
Yeah.
I met him years back. He's supposed to be the converted Democrat to Republican.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
who yeah, who well, I mean, but serves
He
him
was
right to
he was a
do that
buffoon.
and then catch COVID. Right, absolutely.
I mean, not only are you out there supporting him, you acting like a damn fool on top of
Yeah.
it.
On top
Crowd
of it.
surfing
Right.
and acting.
Mhm.
I mean, that behavior was just reckless beyond. It's crazy. I said, what is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
well,
know these people.
we know that can be
Mhm.
expected with these guys. I mean, the way they see reality is much different than the way we see it, and so that it's understandable.
Right.
It's
Right.
paradoxical, but it's that's just the way it is. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now,
But
this
see,
question I
but see,
have.
but
Well,
Walter,
wait 1 second.
hold on, Walter.
When
What?
go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah. So, but the crowd surfing, the crowd sizes is the reason why I did not. I was cautioning against characterizing, young people as not following the rules, because
Okay.
there's plenty of examples of everyone, and it is at the end of the day, whether you young, older, or whatever have you, we all need to make sure that we're doing our part to care for one another. But I just wanted to point
That's
that out.
agreed.
That's all.
Thank you.
Okay, Walter,
I
before
agree
we
with
go
that.
to our next question, I want to take a commercial break. The Walt Weekly Friday Live has been brought to you by Beauty Blends by Ami, an all-natural and organic product, and Soap and Love, a handmade all-natural vegan soap company. They are sponsoring us. Please follow, like, and share. You can use a discount code, The Walt Weekly. Thank you.
Right on time.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Right on time.
Boom.
All right, well, today
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, we're a happy place. That's why we want y'all guys
That's
to be with
right.
us every Friday, so that we can talk
Yes.
and get things out.
Thank you.
Okay, so I was about
Next question.
to bring up this vaccine. And we got 3 vaccines out.
Yes.
2 are out, Moderna, and what's that other one? I had Pfizer,
Pfizer.
and then there's a third one
Pfizer.
and there's a third one in Europe that doesn't need that temperature to below 40 degrees or whatever.
Right.
Then I think that's coming out of England. I think they're already
You got
they
one. I
already rolled one
think
out.
Navax is another company, and they're another company that doesn't need the temperature to be extremely cold.
Yeah, that's where
well.
the poor countries, they wouldn't be able to maintain that type of temperature. All right, but my question is, what do y'all guys think? Would you take that vaccine once it's available? Once that tranche, they're going to do it in tiers, which we all know. They're going to start with healthcare, and then nursing homes. And then I think from there, they will start with people over 65 or over 70. But anyway, they're going to be tiers or tranches, for lack of a better term. When it gets to you guys, which I guess would be April, would you take the vaccine?
I'll let somebody else answer first.
Y'all got laughing.
I'll wait for the pale faces to take it.
I'm inclined to say no right now.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting in the
very, very hard to trust what
Thank you.
is coming out.
The Tuskegee experiment keeps popping in my head, so I think I'll wait.
Well, not only that, even the vaccination that was given during the first, the Spanish flu, in the 1920s wasn't was tested on blacks, during that time. So I'll say this much: I have having served in the military, been in many different countries. I have received all types of vaccinations. I think I'll sit this one out until
no, man, come on.
Look,
careful, Sergeant.
Hey, Ernest, you trusted him this far. Why stop
right.
I had hold on.
All right.
See, that's the thing. So I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice.
Wow.
Yeah. I can't believe it. But then again, the younger generation, the millennials, y'all guys got a fighting chance against it, or against COVID. But I will tell you, when it gets
the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The thing about getting a vaccination is, again, for those to be able to get the opportunity to build the antibodies and to build the immunity within yourself, right? So I don't get a flu vaccination, and knock on wood, and thanks to and the grace of God, I haven't had the flu in 15 years.
I get the flu.
So
I got the vaccination and I got sick. So
yeah, some people
trust that crap. I don't trust that crap no more.
But it's only to give your body the opportunity to fight against the disease, the virus, whatever you're being exposed to. So they give you a small doses of it. Some people do get sick, but hopefully what it does is help you build the immunity to it.
Right.
So when we got chicken pox back in the day, that's a part of that herd immunity concept. So anybody in the neighborhood who got the chicken pox, guess what? That was your new best friend until you got the chicken pox, right?
Right.
Then hopefully you don't catch it again. And so once you get older, it's considered to be shingles, right?
Right.
But the idea was that your body was supposed to have Exactly. But your body was supposed to have built the immunity towards it. So again, it's just one of those things that if our bodies are that healthy, then we can develop an immunity around it, even despite it, because then you get a flu vaccination every single year. You're going to get a COVID vaccination every year too.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so. If you have to.
throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Okay, now
Yeah.
young
What?
guys being younger than me, I have grandkids, all right? And I haven't been able to hold my grandkids since February. All right. Even though I may see them and do the huggy from the distance, I can't hold my grandkids. So
Right.
my wife and I will get the shot. Okay, we will get the shot. But one thing I was very surprised is that they do not give you the disease. Okay, I mean the vaccine doesn't. I mean the vaccine primes your immune system. So if it
It builds it
encounters
up.
the vaccine, right? That's why it's a 2-shot deal. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's like
Uh,
priming the pump. So if you come into contact with COVID, at least your body's ready to fight it. Okay,
mhm.
that's what they say. I mean, a lot of people have, I think an award should go out to everyone who was a candidate during the trials because that was a very brave thing to do. Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
So I am, we're going to definitely take it. And I'm not going to recommend it to anybody, but I'm not going to sit here for years and then scared to go out of the house. If you're going to get it, you go down, right? So why am I not
Yeah.
going to take the vaccine?
Well,
All
Walter,
right.
you taking one for the team. You let us know how it goes.
I will.
For
So
sure.
I
when can I
mean,
come?
but
I'm gonna be like
that tells us too where we are in stages in life, right? So
Right.
you're a little further on, you're a little bit
Yeah.
more seasoned than we are in life. So your
Right.
priorities are a little different. Like the
Right.
time you have is very important. And
Yeah.
the younger you are, you think you got more time. So
Mhm.
what worries me is the vaccinations, and I see all the autism and a lot of people attribute autism to some of the vaccinations.
Mhm.
It's just
Mhm.
hard to trust it,
Right.
but
Right.
I got family,
And it's so
I have a
soon. It's
wife.
quick.
And I have a wife that works in the medical field, and it's
Yeah.
something we're discussing. She's probably has to take it. So, it's a tough place. I mean, this is a dark time, but I think as this thing gets worse and worse, it's probably making a decision for us, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We
definitely.
may have to
Definitely.
do
Either
it.
do
You
or
know what
don't.
I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like
It'd
I
be just
said,
like,
let everybody else
Well-
take it first. See how the hell it goes, and then I'll think about it.
Well,
I would be if I was like you, Michelle, with no grandkids, I would probably do the same thing.
I got
But
grandkids.
when you got grandkids, then,
I don't need to
it's
see
different.
them. It's okay. I'll see them when this is over.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
so,
I
so
hear
the
you.
thing, so the
I
thing
ain't in
is,
no rush.
I hear you. All right. But anyway, look.
well, the,
Go ahead.
the thing I don't like about the way that the vaccination, at least the way that you just described it, okay, what I don't like about it is that if it's not giving you the antibodies to actually to fight against it, so you can develop your own immunity, it
Right.
makes your body then become dependent on it. It's the same
On the
thing when people
vaccination.
take
Mm.
any type of enhancements, right? Our bodies naturally produce estrogen and testosterone and all these other
Right.
vitamins and all these other things. Our bodies naturally do it. But then when we start taking all of these supplements, our bodies become susceptible and dependent
Mhm.
on the supplement and not the ability for it to build itself. And so
Mm.
that's one of the things, concerns I would have is because, again, now are you becoming dependent on this vaccination or this particular drug without your body actually developing what it needs to on its own?
Well,
So let
And
me
that
ask.
is
So
you're
this
looking
this.
at if I follow your line of
Mhm.
thought, then your train of
Mhm.
thought, then that would be herd immunity, would be
Mhm.
what you would be looking at. Okay, I'm not going to take the vaccine because
Yeah.
sooner or later, my body will be able to fight it. But it doesn't apply to the vast majority of the people that are prone to it.
Population.
So
Yeah,
basically,
exactly.
this
No, no, no,
vaccine
no.
is it a temporary fix or is something that
They
I
don't
know it
know. They
says it's
don't know.
double dosage. They
You
don't
don't
know.
know.
They don't know how long it's going to last.
That's
So let me
right.
ask you this, Walter,
Right.
because you're taking one for the team.
Yeah.
If they allow you to take it while Trump is still in office, are you doing it, or are you gonna wait till after?
I'm going to wait. Well, don't forget now, there's a prerequisite here. All right, I understand that Biden, Clinton, and Bush, they're going to take it on live TV. They're going to take theirs.
Yeah, they're gonna take it first. Yeah.
So we see
Right,
them
they're gonna
drop
be
dead.
first.
Okay. Cool.
Then I'm going ahead. Yeah, I mean, everybody. I just do not. If I can be able to hug my grandkids and stuff like that,
Yeah, I get it.
I am going to do it. You know,
Yeah.
otherwise you're gonna die
respect
anyway.
that.
You get caught. Yeah, you go to the store and
No,
you
I
get
get
it.
it.
I don't
I
wanna
get
go
it.
like that. No.
I get it. I get it.
Hey, Ernest. Ernest,
What
I got a question for you. You say you haven't had the flu in 15 years. I like to know what kind of vaccinations they gave you in the military. It's still working.
I mean, so to be honest, I've received anthrax, smallpox, and several others that I don't even remember. I know those are the two main ones that I did when I was on my way to Iraq. And having been in Kuwait and going through the Mediterranean and all that stuff like that. But yeah, so yeah, I haven't had in 15 years. I guess I'm working on 16 or 17. I've been saying
Well, I mean, that could be your diet and your lifestyle too.
Yeah,
that, you
got that good stuff.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
He's immune to everything.
Yeah,
they need their soldiers. You know,
right. I was gonna say they get special stuff.
They gave you the good stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, but anyway, let's pivot. You know, I think we spoke about COVID. We see what updates, what occurs during the week, and then we can roll it into the next show. But let's pivot to what I would call these preemptive pardons. Does anybody know of any president where the president's going to preempt? You know, Rudy Giuliani's seeking one. Trump wants to give some to his
why
kids.
is he seeking one?
I'm sorry?
Why is Giuliani seeking one? What did he do?
He knows. I think he did something when he went over to solicit information and make
yes.
Right. So is there any type of precedent for that?
I haven't heard. Unless you're a dictator. I haven't heard of anything here. The closest thing that I've heard of was the back in the 70s. I think
Nixon,
Nixon and the governor of Tennessee.
Ford.
When he was
Ford?
No, when he was giving out all those pardons when he lost the election, and on his way out, he was releasing all kinds of people from prison, and they had to do the inauguration early just to get him out of office. That was the only time that happened. Okay. You know, I think there's a senator, I can't remember his name. He's a senator now, but he took over as governor, and they put him in 3 days early because the governor of Tennessee was just giving out pardons. Like it was a pay for play. They were paying for pardons.
Oh, well, that's one of my next questions. Yeah. I mean, there's a potential, I think it's under investigation where people are actually through other conduits, maybe not directly through the president himself, but they are soliciting pardons and they want to make payments to get pardons.
I don't doubt it.
That's an investigation that's underway now.
That may be part of what's coming out of the investigation may be the fact that the deeds that have been done over the past years were done with the notion that they would be pardoned. And the investigation may just be finding that out. So it may not be something that someone's asking for ahead of time. It may be something that they may have already asked for, and for deeds that have already been done. However, the pardon of power is only for the way that the U.S. Supreme Court has interpreted the language includes the grant of pardons, conditional pardons, commutations of sentences, conditional commutations of sentences, remissions of fines, and forfeitures. But these are things that have had to have already been done, and that's why you get pardoned.
Right, but I'm talking preemptive pardon.
What's being asked now is ahead of time, and so it's I don't see how it's going to even work.
It doesn't say that he can't do it. That's the thing.
Yeah, because he
It
wants
doesn't say that he can't even pardon himself.
Well, he wants to pardon himself. He's brought it up too many times not to do it. He's going to attempt to do it.
And it doesn't say that he can't do it anywhere.
Right, but it's not a pardon if you haven't been convicted of anything. It's not a murder. It's not a murder until someone dies, right? I mean, if a person gets shot, huh?
I understand.
He's looking for a blanket cover for him and his family out the door.
He wants a vaccination against going to jail.
Exactly.
That's basically what he wants.
Exactly. And to be honest, on the idea of pay for play, I don't pay for pardons. I don't think that's out of the realm either, because look what he's doing with this fighting this election. They're only doing this so they could collect all this money from these people. This is another scam that he's got going. You know, he knows he lost, but he knows he could collect money going around the country saying that he was ripped off, he was robbed. And I need your support to fight this, which he knows he's fighting a losing battle, and it doesn't say what he has to do with them. He can do anything he wants with the money. That's the crazy thing about it.
But you want to know what may end up coming that will be possible? That all the attorney generals from all the different states that he has thrown under the bus, especially in Georgia, he's killing them. Right. Yeah, they may find a way to charge him on the state level. And that pardon does not work on the state level.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I was talking about Letitia and Cyrus Vance in New York. They both get paid.
And he's going really hard against the governor of Georgia right now. He turned on that guy, boy. Forget it.
Yeah, anybody. I mean, he wanted to turn on Barr. I mean, that's real. I mean, Barr covered him like a blanket.
Yes.
And he wanted to turn on Barr.
And the guy and the governor from Georgia too, he backed him all the way. He's been with him, and the language he's using today, Kemp has been by his side, and he's calling him a traitor. He's a liar. Okay, he's just going off on the guy today.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah,
I know he's been going on since yesterday. I mean, I know. I didn't.
No, he called Kemp out by name today, and he was going off on him because he's going there. So you know. He's setting the stage for what he's getting ready to do in Georgia.
I don't know.
And Chris, the other part that I think, and the reason why he's going so hard today, is because I don't believe that Brian Kemp is going to be there, and the lieutenant governor 3 days ago already said that he's not going to be in Georgia or not going to be at the rally. So they're not even going to be there to receive.
Yeah, well, Kemp was on the news today still trying to defend Trump, saying I've been a friend to him. I've been his biggest supporter, because he's throwing the guy under the bus today like crazy.
Yeah, but that's what Trump does. Trump, that's his MO. I mean, that's
Trump
what he does.
He's turning the population in Georgia against this governor right now.
Well, I mean, he's been very successful in the rest of the country. That's why we're almost 50-50 right down the middle. All right, which is a very dangerous situation. I think we covered this. I know we're going to cover it again. But, I mean, this is just in line with what's been going on. All right?
Yeah.
So anyway, to get back to pay for play, right? The pardons. All right, I understand that Ivanka, and I know I heard one guy mention during one of his rallies. Can you imagine Ivanka going to jail? I mean, either with a senator or someone. And now it looks like, you know, with this inauguration, the way they charge and overcharge and misdirected funds from the inauguration, that Ivanka's childhood friend, is saying, okay, yeah, they misappropriated certain amounts of money. That's another investigation. So You have a preemptive pardon that's possible that he may do for Ivanka, or one for Don Jr., and maybe for his other son. So they didn't pardon themselves.
Eric
Kushner.
and Jared.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then Kushner. Let me not forget about Kush.
I think he's going
All
to
right.
leave Giuliani out to dry.
Oh yeah, Giuliani's in line.
Yep.
But don't forget, Giuliani charging him $20,000 a day. He's not doing it for free, but he knows he's going to lose.
And that's why they're out there asking for that money. Those people are paying that bill.
They have raised $170 million as of Wednesday. I don't know what it is today, but it was 170 million.
It's time to pay the piper for all the wrongdoing Giuliani and Trump has done over the years, especially for the Central Park Five.
Well,
it's time they go to jail.
I don't know if I would have I want Trump to hold on to $170 million for 4 years. I don't think it's going to be there when he's ready to run again.
I don't think so either.
Well, that's the thing. He has that. See, that's what I don't understand. This was initially supposed to be for the election, his legal
defense
battle over the election. Now it's being rolled over to a campaign.
Yep. And they said I think he's only responsible for like 5 to 15% for the defense, and the rest he could do whatever he wants with it.
He spent that damn money already. He don't have it. He's a crook.
It's over 200 million right now.
Yeah. It's gone. Forget it.
Yeah, it's over 200 million.
That's a lot of money.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. But anyway, I mean, this pardon thing that this topic was something that with a preemptive pardon, I never heard of it. I know it'll probably go to the Supreme Court because he's going to definitely attempt to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One thing I didn't talk about, guys, and I think that we all should think about all the layoffs, the people that are on food lines, the pure helplessness of what's going out there with people that have been working all their lives, and all of a sudden, they can't pay their rent, they can't buy food,
right.
They have to go out and get food boxes and things of that nature. I mean, our prayers go out to you guys, and
the taxpayers.
You can hang in there until things will get better. I went through nothing as bad as this because it wasn't the COVID, but I went through the recession of 2008, 2009, and I thought I wanted to die. You couldn't buy a job. I mean, you couldn't get a job in customer service. So I've been through a similar situation without having COVID.
Right.
So I've been there, and things will get better. I just want to let everybody know that things will get better. Just hang in there the best you can, and they're going to be brighter days.
Right.
I want to interrupt you real quick. I'm looking at the headline. It says the presidential pardon bribery investigation involves Kushner lawyer and GOP lobbyist. That's what this.
Yeah, that lobbyist is the intermediary,
and it's Kushner's lawyer. So I think that people are starting to turn on them, and the information is getting leaked.
Well, I'm surprised that Trump has lasted so long because our society we're very fickle. And when we see a person going down, we accelerate their downward plunge. We really kick them. So Trump's time will come. I do know
his communications person in charge of his communications at the White House. She stepped down. She resigned. So people are starting to jump ship.
Yeah, they don't want to go down with him.
Nah.
Yeah, they've been jumping ship since he came in office.
All right, guys. So I think we covered everything, but I do want to revisit the Georgia runoff elections. And Howard, now, walk me through exactly. I know we got 2 Senate positions that are up to be filled in Georgia, right? Which will tilt the balance in the Senate. Okay. Now, as far as the polls and the candidates are concerned, I mean, how is that looking from your perspective? Or what have you found out? And what do y'all guys know about that?
As far as
I know we covered it before. As far as
Warnock and Locklear, I think her name is
right.
Locklear.
Yeah. She's not the AQ9 one, is she?
I don't think so. I'm not 100%.
Okay, I know the name sounded familiar in that context. But go ahead.
They're having a big debate Sunday. These two, right? And Trump has been attacking her and the other gentleman as of late, the last couple of days, and his followers, because they're not being vocal right now in supporting him and saying that he has been the election was robbed. He was robbed of the election, and so they're telling people not to vote. Hold your vote. I think it's a dangerous mix. I thought maybe she had the better chance of the two to win her seat. But with that happening now, I think Warnock has a very good chance of taking that seat, if you ask me.
Okay. And what are you hearing, Ernest, about that election?
No, I mean, one. So the swell that was created by that's been attributed to Stacey Abrams is continuing. They are, reorganizing down in Georgia. There has been a record number of mail-in ballots that has already been requested. To Chris's point of what he pointed out, as far as the number of individuals who are receiving the mixed message, and as far as Trump supporters receiving the mixed messages of vote, don't vote. The chair of the RNC just last week had to go down and had a town hall where she had to try to quell the notion of not voting, because one of the supporters were like, "Well, why am we going to vote if it's already been decided?" And she was like, "No, it has not been decided." However, 4 years ago, and this is one of the crazy things when it comes down to people who make statements, whether it's on a podcast like this, whether it's on television, whether it's a tweet or whatever have you, somebody has already got it and recorded it. So anyways, 4 years ago, when Donald Trump won, everyone accepted it within the day after, and they charged anything against the DNC who had challenged any of those particular votes and said that they should just accept them.
They also did that with Stacey Abrams as well.
Absolutely. In 2018.
She wanted the challenge as well, and they were quick to say no, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I want to see this gentleman.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, I just want to see this gentleman in this debate go after her for her dumping her stock when she got that information last year when she was
the insider trading. Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
I would love to see him bring that up, because that's an important thing, and it shouldn't be left out, because she should have been brought up on charges for what she did.
Oh, absolutely. But they never. Mark Meadows, this guy that's the assistant to Trump, former senator out of North Carolina. Yeah, I mean, he did the same thing. You don't hear anything. Yeah, he did. I mean, they all do it. I mean, it's just I don't know, it's just a way of doing business. Cheat, lie, steal. I mean, I don't know what's becoming.
That's politics.
But no, that's breaking the law.
Yeah, that's criminal.
Insider trading.
That's criminal.
Yeah, that's criminal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then
if I had a tip,
Martha Stewart went to jail
for it, right? When she went to jail for it.
Well, Martha, she went for lying. You know what I mean? Lying to the FBI. But anyway, in any case, guys, it's been a very good discussion. Hopefully our listeners are able to take away some of the things that we discussed, because it is our mission to make sure that we inform our listeners and let them know what's going on, and then to have the perspective of people like you and like us. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna turn it over to Michelle. And before I go, if this is your first time, please like, share, and join. Like, share, join. And we're going to see you next week. And thanks for joining us. One other thing before I go is that this podcast will be available on the audio platforms on Sunday after 3 p.m., meaning they'll be on Apple, Spotify. We'll be everywhere you can get your podcast. All right, so this will be rebroadcast. All right, so spread the news. And I'm going to turn it over to Michelle. And thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys. And thank you to our sponsors, Beauty Blends by Ami and Soap and Love. We appreciate their courtesy of giving the Walt Weekly a discount code to our viewers and listeners. We thank our today's panel, Christopher Sweeney, retired NYC sanitation worker and CEO of Johnny Roots Catering. We also thank Ernest J. Robinson out of Washington, D.C., a sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps, combat veteran, senior consultant at B. Ernest Leadership and Professional Consultant. Please follow, like, and share all of these amazing people. Patronize these small businesses, Black-owned businesses. If you'd like to place an ad, you can check out our sponsorship page at www.thewaltweekly.com to place an ad and have your business name mentioned on our Friday Lives every week. You can follow us on IG at The Walt Weekly, on Facebook as well, at The Walt Weekly Podcast, and on Podbean at The Walt Weekly. We appreciate everyone on here. Thank you all. Have an amazing weekend. Be safe. Follow, like, and share. Find us on iHeartRadio, Apple iTunes, and any other streaming platform. Thank you all.
Wear your mask.
Good night.
All right. Have a nice weekend.
Right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bless everyone.
Peace and
Good night,
blessings.
everybody.
Peace.
Later.